Hey everybody, this is Merrick coming at you not live with another figure review for, 2026. I don't even really have to announce that, but the only reason why I'm doing that is because, unlike the first one where I just talked about something a little positive, I am breaking my promise to honestly, I think this needs to be said. As a collector of stuff and as a person who's collected Star Wars figures for years. So, the action figure community, at least from what I see, very much is complacent in what we get. Now, sometimes I believe that we are too negative in some aspects, and other times I believe that we are not calling out proper shit. Now, the reason why I am saying this and the reason why I am presenting you with this little Star Wars creature here is because I have to really say something about the way Hasbro has been handling this. At least in recent years, because the price of this shit is just so stupidly outrageous. And something about this one really just like ticked a little box in my head that has been bothering me. And the thing is, though, for the record, I'm going to open up about this little toy and say, I love this thing. Like, look at it. It feels good to handle. It's got decent articulation for what it is. I mean, like, if you pull on the limbs easily enough, it will break off, or not like, break off as in like it will break. They pop off, but I don't want to say it's by design, but they did that in the box somewhat, where one of the legs came unattached and you gotta like reattach it, and I can like easily pop the tail off like that. But I think honestly, I've seen that with like some Playmate stuff, like I know the Godzilla toys, but I'm not gonna really get on that case. That's honestly nothing, because the figure or creature, whatever it does itself correctly. But I'm not too crazy about the prices that I've been seeing with a lot of this Star Wars stuff. Now, some people are really good at saying, okay, yeah, no, this is not worth like the $25, is not worth whatever, because some of this stuff is it's just ridiculous. So ever since my from a few years ago, I did that. I'm gonna link that in the description and maybe do that little annotation thing up in the top corner as I bring this up. But I made a video like a few years ago that made me swear off of buying Star Wars stuff for a while. That was new. And it also made me go, no, this is not worth the money you're getting for this. Now, why did I go back on that promise this time with this new Star Wars toy? Well, it's 2026 again, and GameStop ain't doing so hot. Now, why do I bring this up? Because for Christmas, someone got me a $100 GameStop gift card. And while I was searching for something specific to use that gift card on, I was in the GameStop and I saw this on the shelf and said, I got $100. I got $100. I've not gotten I like Endor stuff because this was originally from the Legends and Expanded Universe, whatever you want to call it. And I just wanted it for my Endor display because this thing showed up in the Caravan of Courage. So what I did was I just said, fuck it. I grabbed it. I waited online. And in all honesty, it wasn't that... Well, honestly, the GameStop was swamped. But it wasn't that bad to just be like, fuck it. I gotta use this gift card now before they just fucking stop existing. Whether that will be this year, who freaking knows? I just rather use it than wait, because you don't know what the hell you're going to get. I don't even know when this thing came out. This could have come out in 2024 for all I know. That's in a rant all of itself. I'm gonna save like some thoughts I had till the end and whatnot because I've been working on something. But I grabbed this toy and I said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get this. I'm just gonna pull it away for a second. So here's the box, or part of the box that I can show at the moment, and that is the price I paid to get this off of the gift card, thankfully, so none of my actual money was used. Oh, but if you're a pro member, you get $2 off. Bullshit. Bullshit. This was actually cheaper. This is why I think this was like an old... This is why I think it was like an older release. So this was cheaper than what I paid. A few dollars cheaper, mind you. It wasn't 40. It was about like 38, and I'm not even a pro. I'm not even like a freaking pro member. So... whatever, right? I got it for whatever price, but this is a steep price check. And I know GameStop slightly inflates prices a little bit. I've seen stuff from them just go a teeny tiny bit higher than normal, which is fucked up in and of itself. But screw it, whatever. I picked it up. I just said, fuck it, whatever. I wanted the blurg. I got the blurg. And the thing that gets me outside of this, right? So outside of like the well done sort of, you know, as you saw here, my whole thing was like, this is so good, but is it $35 good? No, I don't think this was $35 good. Now, if we're talking like old mini rig pricing, oh fuck yeah, I would gladly pay out of pocket for this. No problem whatsoever. Now, for those who are new to Star Wars toys, Star Wars collecting, whatever the hell, what the fuck is a mini rig? Well, a mini rig was something that was invented by Kenner back when they were making the Star Wars figures and whatnot. So, this blurg here, right, technically counts as a mini rig. They still made them all throughout the way through to the Clone Wars series. And the thing about them was they were a sort of cheaper alternative vehicle or toy for someone who didn't have enough money or didn't have like a lot of money to spend on something bigger to get. So like we'd had stuff like I sold off most of mine from the Clone Wars, but there was stuff like miniature gunships that could house a pilot, and you could put like guys in the back with like 2 guns. I wish I had better examples. I do have some examples of like what a mini rig was, and I have some pricing too, some pricing ranges. But there was stuff like a mini gunship. You could put guys in the back that had like twin guns that could like snap off, and you know, like they got like battle armor or whatever, right? Kind of sucks that I don't have it because I wish I could like show it off to you, but it was just a little toy that had like cool play features. It was a mini gunship. There was even ones that were like, oh, it's a mini starfighter, or a little, like, you know, it could be like an air speeder equivalent for the Republic or something like that, like a snow speeder kind of thing. We even made miniature Y-wing bombers. I don't know how they explain that in lore, but that was just a thing. So the thing is too is that like, because I traded off most of mine because, one, I wanted to get far away from the Clone Wars cartoon as possible, the 2008 one, for my personal collection, and I mostly kept the ones that were known to exist in the universe to make my current clone army that I'm sort of building up a little bit more accurate as possible. That's just the way I collect whatever the frick. Who cares? So this blurg falls within the mini rig scale, the mini rig range. Now, from memory, through the Clone Wars era, I don't remember exactly what the pricing of the mini rigs was. If my memory serves me right, a lot of them were about $15. Which, again, if my memory serves correct, a lot of the vehicles at the time were between $30 to $25, maybe $40 if I'm not mistaken. The inflation scale is a little off balance in my head. I'm going off of like pure memory and the minimal research I've done. And that minimal research, I tried so hard to find freaking MSRP for old stuff, and I got for some of it, which I can put to scale here. So this blurg was almost $40, right? This is a mini rig. Current Star Wars vehicles for the vintage collection, and I'm talking about the size of a fucking X-Wing. Something that was about $25, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, at the time that I was like really, when I was young and getting more like collecting Star Wars stuff, was about like $25, $30 maybe. An X-Wing now in the vintage collection is $100 fucking dollars. That is complete bullshit. I will get to my point in a sec. Even after stuff like inflation, after bullshit like the tariff price increases, I'm not afraid of saying that. So I am not afraid of fucking saying that shit. But between all of that, right? I'm going to put the blurg aside. I'm going to get into like the collector's thing. But I talked about these dwarf spider droids, right? Now, I don't think I have the correct one to say that this is the price that it sold for, because they released this one like at least twice. Hell, on the website I use to double check everything, they don't even have the Revenge of the Sith one as far as I'm aware. They only have this version released with Attack of the Clones and a similar looking one that released as part of the original Clone Wars series. And I already told you there's like some spotty research on maybe there was one for the TCW, but whatever the case is, when this released as part of the 2003 Clone Wars show line, this was $9.99. $10, right? And this is mini rig scale. Now, this even has a play feature. It's a wind-up, it's a simple little wind-up toy. And hell, it can even fire a missile, which I showed off the last time. I don't even feel like doing it right now. I don't even feel like shooting this thing right now, but say your prayers, Robert Kopp. Still works. Still works. The spring still works. But this little droid, $9.99. Can you believe that? Can you believe this? $10 for this thing. Now, granted, aftermarket, paid like about, I forgot how much I paid for this aftermarket, but $10 at the time, perfectly fine, whatever. You just got a fun little wind-up droid with some nose shooting action or whatever. Is it accurate? No. It's not color accurate, not color skill, but it's got a lot of good paint application. Look at the dents on them. It's got a lot of good paint application and good molding. Look at the dents on the head. Look at the rusty paint. Look at all of this. Should be good. This should be good, right? $10. I'm perfectly content as an adult. If this was $10 on a shelf, I'd perfectly pay $10. Not $40. No. For a wind-up toy, $10, yeah, no, this is fine. This is cool for $10, right? So we're going a little bit forward in time, because after Revenge of the Sith and during the Clone Wars show run, and a few times, I think during one of the Saga collections, I believe we got a couple of these. So there were a few battle pack / mini rig releases of the BARC speeder bikes, right? Or BARC speeders, whatever you want to call them. You got, for my memory and the research that I've found, if I remember correctly, these were about maybe $15 to $20 at most. You got 2 speeder bikes and 2 figures. And the figures were fully posable. The figures were, you could take them off the vehicle, you could put them on the vehicle. They came with guns. You could do whatever you wanted with this. And this looks really good. I have another one in my like room display. This looks really good. For about $15, you get 2 of them. Build up that army. And you get a couple for like that, like $30, you get like 4. And there you go. You can have like a small setup of 4 speeders, right? And here is an original mini rig. So I got this for $15, ironically, but according to the research I did, these mini rigs went anywhere from $4.99, $5.99 to $8.99 or $6.99, depending on the retailer. And this is an Imperial vehicle. It doesn't do much, but at the time, for the detail you got, like there's sticker. It still came with stickers It still functioned as intended, rolling around, having its like wheel steamroller things, being able to, and it can seat a figure inside. But for that, for like, you know, $4.99, $8.99, $6.99, I'd say it's a pretty good deal. It's like, you know, again, the miniature vehicle thing. So now, that being said, right, I believe part of the price problem when it comes to this blurg is the fact that it's part of the vintage collection. Now, the reason why I brought out the other mini rig scale vehicles and such is because those were part of the main line at the times that they came out. So there was no such thing as the vintage collection. Again, back when I was collecting, figures were both display and play. Now, technically, this too is both display and play. But the price we're asking for is fully outrageous in comparison to the old. Not including tariffs, not including inflation of money, as again, I have a feeling somebody would try to like make that first era mini rig extremely pricey at this point. But this is to fucking be a leech to collector people. And the reason why I say that, this is the figure that came with this. This is the Mandalorian. Din Djarin, right? Is that his name? Din, something like that. Now, the thing that gets me, right? Why is this on its own separate card? Why not just put it in cardboard like the other figures that came? Now, the reason why I bring this up too is because extra packaging also increases the fucking price. But, because, you know, you gotta print all this shit out, print the art. Oh, but it looks nice. But here's the thing, right? Why? A mint in box collector is never opening the big box. And I slapped that for a good reason, because I'm going to toss this box out. I'm not a fucking mint in box collector. This box has no value to me. This box has no value to me. If you open this box to take this box out to display this box, this figure is not mint in box. So they put a leeching price onto something that you're never going to see, you're never going to look at, which is this, and claim mint in box collectors. Is like, no, this wasn't needed. You could have put this guy in the packaging, probably lowered the price exceptionally. But this is Hasbro leeching on people, big time. I have seen, like, the deluxe figures that aren't really deluxe, especially now, don't do that. They don't, like, you know, come in a big box and with a separate box inside. The other figures that they've re-released, like the Gamorrean Guard, which they're trying to sell as a deluxe figure now for $25. No, I wasn't going to pay for that. I wasn't going to pay that price for that fucking figure that I got for cheaper before. Hasbro or Disney, whichever one is in charge of the pricing point, like the Star Wars, like, tax or whatever the fuck, someone is screwing someone here. Someone is causing the problem. I know Hasbro's got, like, a fucked up CEO. I know Disney is fucking stupid expensive with its bullshit half the time. But I don't care. I'm going to say something, and that is, this is not worth the price that you're getting for. This right here is a bit of a cause for inflation, because why? Why do we need this? Just do what the other ones did, like the Bark Speeder, and put the figure just in the packaging with it, without this box. If a mint in box collector is never going to open this, honestly, talking about, like, the value bullshit, that would decrease the value anyway. Oh my god. It's leechery. It's greed. It's greed, not all the way down. It's greed all the way fucking up. Because I don't like coming out on my... I'm just going to call it a show. I don't like coming out on my show and, like, complaining about quality of product to price ratio. Because I've actually been really happy with a lot of the recent Transformers I picked up for the prices that they are. Granted, we still have to deal with fucking inflation prices as well as the tariff increase, which is also part of the inflation bullshit. But I have been happy with my Deluxes, I've been happy with my Voyagers, and I've been happy with my Leaders. Onyx Prime is fun. Onyx Prime is fun. Most of the Primes have been really fun. Especially, the Fallen and whatnot, too. Literally one of the best figures of last year. Transformers is killing it, but Star Wars is just bullshit. Again, with price increases to things that are reissues and not freaking that in and of itself is fucking bullshit. And then people still pay it. People still buy it for that extreme exorbitant price tag. And I'm just like, why? Nobody calls it out. Nobody does anything. And we just all kind of shrug and say, well, it's quality. I beg to differ, because you saw the freaking... you saw my fucking heavy-duty Mandalorian figure that I sold off, by the way. I got rid of that fucking thing, finally. The 3 1/4 inch one sucked. This figure's actually pretty good, and I like the cloth cape. Here's what I mean. I will give credit where credit is due. As a fan of Legends, as a fan of the expanded universe, this creature is a good toy. This Din Djarin is a good figure. Good paint, good colors, cloth pieces, something that's been diminishing in recent years with Star Wars stuff too. But it's just not worth the value, and I wouldn't have gotten it unless I had that GameStop gift card. Now, that being said, I'm going to talk about something positive Star Wars related in my next video. Now, that is going to be something that I am extremely happy about. I think it was well worth the price that I paid for the figure. And it should be an example of the quality that we should get going forward and at affordable price points. My problem is not the my problem is just the exorbitant prices that we have to pay. Tariffs, inflation, and everything notwithstanding, of course, shit like that happens. It's fucked up still, but it unfortunately happens. This is not fucking that. This is an example of greed. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for joining me today. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you later. And I'm sorry about this rant.